Hey friends, this is Free Opinion bringing you my free opinion, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a section and then I'm going to give my thoughts on what I read. I'm not going to do it by each paragraph like I normally do. I'm going to try not to curse like usual, but there might be a couple of slips. Like this one right here is on purpose. This motherfucker here, the governor of Georgia, I respect him even more for calling for signature verification. And he's not the only one. I have another story that I'm going to be doing of another governor calling for the same thing. Georgia governor urges Secretary of State to order signature audit over Fulton County video. They should have already signature audited all of it. Georgia Governor Gov Kemp is calling on Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to order a signature audit of votes after the release of video footage showing poll workers in Fulton County processing ballots in the middle of the night with no observers. The Republican on Fox News's The Ingram Angle on December 3rd said that state law gives the Secretary of State power to audit or adjust election procedures when necessary. I called early on for a signature audit, Kemp told Ingram. Obviously, the Secretary of State, per the law and the state constitution, would have to order that. And he did it. And he has not done that. I think it should be done. So, your governor thinks it should be done. Raffensperger, why won't you? I have a feeling that he's tied into this. I think he knew about what happened at the counting center. And I think he's trying to cover his ass as much as he can. Meaning he's trying to stop people from looking at the signatures because he's like, oh God, I'm in too deep. I'm going to lose my job as well. Let's keep going. Raffensperger's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Epoch Times. Now, wait, I do want to say, if Raffensperger turns around, does the audit with no problems, I still don't like him because it shouldn't have taken him this long. But I will take back what I said about him possibly being a part of all of it. President Donald Trump made a similar call on Twitter, writing late Thursday that the best way to ensure a win for Senator Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue is to allow signature check in the presidential race. Kemp comments came hours after Trump's legal team presented surveillance footage at a Georgia state legislature hearing that showed election workers telling poll observers to leave on election night before staying to continue counting what appeared to be 4 boxes filled with ballots. Referencing the video footage, Kemp continued, I think especially with what we saw today, it raises more questions. There needs to be transparency on that. I would again call for that. I think he's talking about signature verification. And I think in the next 24 hours, hopefully, we'll see a lot more from the hearings that the legislator had today. And we'll be able to look and see what the next steps are, he said. Now, they said that they were going to have more hearings next week in Georgia. Raffensperger, you better pray to whatever God you pray to that this doesn't come out to show that the reason you haven't done signature verifications, audits of the system, all of this is because you were a part of it. I hope they put you in jail like they would put me in jail if I was the one doing this. At Thursday's hearing, Jackie Pick a lawyer who is volunteering with the campaign legal case, said the team received video footage of the voting tabulation room from State Farm Arenas in Fulton County, Georgia. So I'm guessing that, like, the arena literally was just like, here, guys, here's the video. The team said the GOP poll watchers weren't allowed to watch the counting process in the poll center. Now, yeah, they were. They were allowed to from like 25 feet away. How are you supposed to see anything from that far away? Fucking cheating, man. According to Pick, at around 10 p.m. local time, a woman described as a blonde woman with braids told workers to stop counting and notified everybody to go home. At which point, most people left, including the Republican observers and the press, but 4 people stayed behind to continue counting and tabulating until around 1 a.m., the footage revealed. Now, if you go back and you watch the news broadcast of what happened that night, they said that they stopped counting and it would resume the next day, and that everybody had to leave because of a burst pipe. Except for these people that got to sit back and cheat. Pick said the footage showed Fulton County election workers waiting at their scanning areas until GOP poll observers and reporters left the room before they started scanning ballots, ostensibly without any observation from around 11 p.m. So 11 p.m. till 1. So that's like 2 full hours that they could have been feeding in Mickey Mouse ballots. Once everyone was gone, the workers are seen wheeling out the ballot boxes that were stored under a black tablecloth, Pick said. After reviewing the footage, she said that it doesn't appear to be a normal procedure, and if unobserved, was in violation of state law, meaning those ballots should be thrown out. Francis Watson, the Secretary of State's chief investigator, has disputed some of Pick's claims. Dude, we don't even care if you dispute us anymore. We got Twitter disputing us every day. I got YouTube disputing my posts. You think that I care if you dispute something that I could see with my own lying eyes? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. But has not provided clarity on why the ballot boxes were kept under the table and counted without observers, or where the ballots came from. Watson argued that nobody told the poll observers to stay or leave. It doesn't matter if the if the workers left, okay? The observers, they should have stopped counting and resumed the next day. I don't know how this is so hard for the left to understand. And I don't even care if this dude is Republican or not, because he's a lefty in my eyes. If he really thinks that him saying nobody told them to leave gives any reason for them to have still been counting ballots without observers there, he's crazy. He's crazy. There's no reason for it. We seen the girl tell them to leave. She walked over to them. Let's keep going, though. Georgia GOP Chair David Schaefer challenged her explanation, saying on Thursday that the footage still showed that observers were not present for ballot processing, meaning that they shouldn't have been processing ballots. Shortly after the video footage was shared on Thursday, Trump, who has repeatedly alleged voter fraud in the 2020 elections, said on Twitter, "People in Georgia got caught cold, bringing in massive numbers of ballots and putting them into voting machines. Great job at Brian Kemp, GA. This was followed by a second post in which he said that the best way to ensure a victory for the incumbent Republican Senates, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, who are facing Democrat candidate Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. God, I hate pronouncing names. I'm sorry, guys. In two Jan 5th runoff races in Georgia, is to conduct signature checks for the presidential race. Because if the presidential race, they do the audit and it shows that we're just being worried about nothing, then people will be more confident going and voting in the runoff races that their votes are actually counting and not being watered down. Let's finish this up real quick. The best way to ensure at K. Loeffler and at Sen. David Perdue victory is to allow signature checks in the presidential race, which will ensure a Georgia presidential win. Very few voters are needed. Many will be found. Spirits will soar, and everyone will rush out and vote, the president wrote. So, the governor wants you to do it. The president wants you to do this audit. The people of Georgia want you to do this audit. Why is the Secretary of State not auditing? This should be his second audit, for real. They've been calling for an audit since the polls closed. Well, since counting ended the first time. We need to stand up and make these rhino Republicans and these do-nothing Democrats start earning their paychecks. These dudes sit on their asses and do nothing and get paid thousands of dollars a month to do nothing. But most people in a lot of these states can't even go to their job to make money. But these dudes will definitely tax them so they make sure that their paycheck is paid. Guys, look, I know this last part was a bit of a rant, but you guys have a nice night. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this, because I know what I think, and I know that this Secretary of State needs to get up off his ass and do his job. If so many people are worried about this election being fraudulent, you should be doing everything to quell their worries. Guys, have a nice night.